before we run out of time, we gotta show this clip from last night, because the whole reason we're talking about this in the first place, and we haven't gotten to it yet, is Obamacare. It's been a week since the website has been up. It's not going swimmingly. USA Today editorial actually called it incompetent, and Secretary of Health and Human Services Kathleen Sebelius, she did something brave last night. She went on the Jon Stewart show. She got quite a grilling. Take a look.
How many have signed up thus far?
Fully enrolled? I can't tell you, because I don't know. I can tell you we've had not only lots of web hits, hundreds of thousands of accounts created. We have
so it's been hundreds of thousands of people have signed up.
Of accounts created.
Okay, so there was not only that issue that they have to deal with, the glitches, but then she also had to admit that if you go on the website and it doesn't work, it's okay, because then you can just pay a fine at the end of the year. Listen to this.
I would feel like you were favoring big business because they lobbied you to delay it because they didn't want to do it this year, but you're not allowing individuals that same courtesy.
Well, again, big businesses are already in the health market.
So
and
why is it that individuals, though, couldn't say they didn't want to do it just for a year of businesses?
Well, they can. They pay a fine. They pay a fine at the end of the year, but they don't have to. I mean, they can say, I don't want to do it.
So, Eric, basically what he's saying is that big business got a break from the Obama administration, but individuals can't get the same deal.
Yeah, aside from the fact that that's ridiculous, you pay a $95 fine and you don't have to go on Obamacare. No one's going to do it. The young and healthy is not going to do it. There's one of two reasons why they don't know. President Obama didn't know how many people enrolled. Kathleen Sebelius didn't know. Secretary of Obamacare didn't know. One is that the number's so low, it's embarrassing for them. They didn't realize that the turnout wasn't going to be good. They keep saying the glitches occurred because so many people want it. Maybe it's not. Maybe there aren't enough. Or number two, which is more likely, the system is so incompetent. They had almost 5 years to get this thing together. It's failing on every leg it's standing on, and they're worried that with 1/6 of the economy relying on this, almost $3 trillion per year, that it's incompetent. They're worried that the whole thing could collapse in on itself, and people are going to realize it. Go ahead.
And think about the millions of dollars that they had to get this thing up and running in taxpayer money. So this has really been a fiasco. It's amazing to hear Jon Stewart sound just like John Boehner. That's John Boehner's whole point. Let's delay the individual mandate because it's not fair that an exemption was given to businesses. Watching Sebelius, though, be the human shield for the White House, rolling her out there, I mean, she has no leg to stand on. She's basically telling the American public, okay, so you have all your information that you enter. We get your data. You may log on. You may not. You may be rejected from health care. You may not. You may get to pay more in premiums, probably, and if not, guess what? You get to pay more in taxes.
Well,
that is their message, Bob, and I'm telling you,
first of all, it's not been 3 years. You had to wait for the states, individual states to act, and whether they were going to get into the system or not. It's been taking years to get that done. But leaving that aside, let's assume you're all right, that this thing is going to fall apart, that the structure of this thing is terrible, it can't possibly do it.
Yes.
Then let it fall apart. It gives you a campaign issue. It gives you everything you want. And you don't have to then sit here and try to mess with the full faith and credit of the United States government over something you think you're going to win over anyway.
You know, they could have done it with just one exchange. They could have just had one free market, and they wouldn't be in the pickle that they're in.
You could have had one single payer, which is what I want.
Well, that's the argument, right? So Jon Stewart from the left is coming at it. He's basically saying, you guys didn't go far enough. You're having to do the shenanigans with the employer mandate and the individual mandate because you didn't just go to a single payer program, and you should have when you had the opportunity.
Right. And the system being a failure and the website fiasco only puts people who are already frustrated with not having insurance to be even more frustrated. When they go to that website and they sit on there for hours of a day trying to get their health insurance, they're going to quit. They're not going to come back, and the government's going to have a lot of explaining to do to get those people to enroll.
And you're right, they didn't have insurance before. Why? Because the insurance companies in this country will not insure them because they're big risks. We never blame the insurance companies. We always feel bad about these rip-off artists.
Or Bob, the young people who didn't want to enroll and get health insurance in the first place, they're not going to sit on the Obamacare website and
guess who the new insurance company in this country is going to be?
U.S. government.
U.S. government. Obamacare.
I wish it were. I wish it were. I wish it were a single payer and get these health care industry out of here.
Looking forward to that. No one's talking about this. An October 17th article in the New York Times by Robert Pear, U.S. set to sponsor health exchanges. There's going to be a health exchange, Barrycare, that will be sponsored by the government that will run all the other insurers out of business. That's the end game.
Good. Run them out of business. It'll be fine with me.
That's going to be very scary.